welcome to the Scratticus Academy. We are back with the penultimate episode of Call of Cthulhu Twilight Sands. Please check out all the links that are currently being spammed in chat. And also a special thank you to our wonderful sponsors, Mayhem Press and also Bird in the Storm, who we could not do this without. Otherwise, let's hop around and say hello to everyone. So we'll start with the very lovely Mal. Oh, hi, Mal.
Hi, I had an exciting day that I won't go into, but I'm soggy in real life today. And words are escaping me. You can find me on Twitter at Malhadale, and what else am I playing? This Saturday, I'll be in a game on Katie Face's channel, playing more Cthulhu. Sunday nights, I'm in a mini campaign for Things from the Flood with Imperator Penguin and a whole bunch of friends of the channel. And I won't go into details, but you can totally find me back on the Academy next season, and I'm super excited!
Yay, I'm excited too. So let's hop down and say hi to Britt, or Atomic Firebird.
Hi, I'm Britt. I play Professor Teddy. Don't call him that. I am currently right now on Encounter Roleplay on Wednesdays with the finale over the next 2 weeks of my Tales from the Loop / Things from the Flood game. Popular series with the two tie-wearing blokes in this game. And that's it for now.
Perfect. Thank you. And then we're going to hop down to the very lovely Nassim. Oh, hi.
Hey, I'm Nassim. I'm playing Bo Franklin Veed, your devilishly dapper dish. And I also play Saya Noor on the Venture Maidens podcast, and we will be streaming all 5 of us back tomorrow night, 7:30, Venture Maidens Twitch.
Awesome. Thank you. Then we're going to hop over to the lovely D&D Paige. Oh, hi.
Hello. I am Paige. I am yet again back as Idris Hall. I am alive still, somehow. And I am in the next revolving place mid-move. A whole new room behind me, everyone. Very exciting. And I hope to make it through today.
Perfect. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, Sage Ophelia.
Well, hi. I'm Holly. I'm Sage Ophelia here and on Twitter. I'm playing Maria Santiago today. And I am also here on Thursdays DMing for 2 more weeks. And I'm super excited for next season, but I am also really feelings about the next 2 episodes of Call of Cthulhu. I am ready to be evoked and also very not ready to be evoked.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear. So, last week, the group found the Spear of Horus, or the Spear of Osiris, whichever way you look at it. And it is supposed to, when wielded properly, kill the god of chaos. And we still don't have Charlie. We gained an Aiden, but we don't quite have a Charlie yet. And they headed back down the path, away from the hospital, away from the shack. And there was a new path, one they came down before but didn't see before. And there was an archway in the middle of the forest, made of sandstone, with Anubis on one side, carved and set on the other. And Beck lays dead at your feet, sword gone, eyes gone, life gone. What would you like to do?
Are we talking like eyes gone, like his eyes are missing, or eyes gone like there's just, it's smooth?
Like, eyes are missing.
Okay.
I love that. That's the reassuring one. Wait, his eyes are just pulled out of the sockets, right? It's just like,
yeah, this is okay.
Right?
That's normal. We've seen it.
Well, I'm imagining the things with no eyes that we've seen were like, it was smooth there, because...
Yeah, I was picturing kind of like Pan's Labyrinth. Smooth.
Right, where it was just smooth skin. So if his eyes are actually pulled out of his head, that's sort of more okay, I guess.
That's the stage we've got.
I had no mouth.
Yeah.
That's the stage we've got to now, that this is the okay.
I guess he served his purpose.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if he's like a real living being.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, this could still not be true because we're still in the chaos, so.
The spirit that we found, it had 2 eyes on it, see?
Yes, as in sort of the Eye of Horus carved on.
Can we, maybe we look at it and see if, I don't know, maybe his eye is on it too now?
The spear. Yeah, you can get it out.
I don't have it.
You can have a look at whoever has it. I was going to say, I think Professor Teddy has it.
I have it. It's wrapped up though.
I mean, you can easily sort of unwrap it and take a look at this thing, and it's still covered in lapis lazuli. There's gold, there's hieroglyphics. There doesn't seem to have been anything that has been added to it.
Well, people who study religion more, is he like posed in a certain way, or
Nope,
maybe
he just dead.
can I see if there is a probable cause of death here? Like, is there like blood out of the eyes where it looks like maybe he bled to death? Is there like...
You don't need to roll for this. He's definitely died from the fact that his eyes are no longer there.
Do the eyes look as though they were removed surgically with like a blade with claws?
They look like they were ripped out. And you
Okay.
can see claw marks over the side of the eyes, almost like those long fingers of the things in the forest.
Oh.
Y'all, I think Beck is dead. I think he's like dead. Like, there's nothing we're gonna do to bring this fellow back. He is dead. We took his bells. Let's not blame ourselves.
He took his bells.
I mean, now that you mention it, I mean, see if he has any more bells, we should probably take them also.
Are you talking basically like above ground grave robbing right now, Maria? Because I'm actually kind of into it. I agree.
You can find like 1 or 2 more bells on him, but you know that he placed them around the forest more than on his person.
He had like a pack, right, with food and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Poke him with the stick.
Gonna kind of like get that pack off. He's dead. I'm not worried
This
about.
poor guy. Yeah, you can take the pack off. There's still food in it. If anything, it looks brand new and replenished. You can actually smell like fresh baked bread in this pack. And is there anything else you want to rob this man of?
I mean, does he have dignity left at this point? Is there anything else to take?
I mean, other than the clothes off his back,
Does he have a shovel on him?
he does not have a shovel on him. What? Why
I was gonna bury him.
I thought you meant like a poop shovel.
I'll just reach into my shovel pocket and here we are.
Some people are prepared. Maybe he had a little trowel for,
You beat
wood
me
stuff.
with a trowel. Sorry, carry on. So there is no spade. There is no trowel.
If a god poops in the forest, does he need to bring a trowel? Like,
Please clip that. Oh my god.
okay. I'd like to like tear part of my skirt off and kind of put it over his face like a shroud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that.
I feel like I've torn several parts off my skirt. It's starting to get
There's
up there.
not much of your outfit left by the end of this.
It's fine.
Some mini skirts.
It's okay. I know everyone else is. I mean, this is not the time for romancing. And you'll see my husband. He would be very cross with me and with whoever tried to, it's fine. I'm not worried about it, you know?
There was no implication of no.
So, this bag, Bo, you're pretty hardy. You seem like you're going to survive, so do you want it with the food?
I'll lug it around, sure. Can I make some kind of, I don't know, check to see if I remember the way back to his little camp that he took us from or brought us to?
Yeah, you can do. You could either roll a spot hidden or a track. It is called track, I think. Yeah, or a track check. This forest to you almost just, it feels like a maze. Like you only knew where you were going because he was leading you.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone remember the way back? I mean, I thought we would be somewhere else once we walked out of here, because every time we find something, it changes on us, and I don't know.
I don't know much about woods.
The archway ahead of you, you can't actually see anything through it. It's more like a doorway, but there's no walls either side. Like you could walk around the other side. It's not like a physical door.
All right. I want to walk up to it and walk around it and look through it on the other side.
As you walk past the archway to look around the back, it's not there. And you can't see the others either.
This is a magic doorway.
Can we still see Bo when he goes to the other side?
You can't see both the other side. You can hear each other. It's more like there's just a block.
Do y'all think... Oh, sorry.
No.
That he was running to here and they got him here? Like, do we see blood tracking from a distance, or is it like all right here?
No, it seems to be here. You can see basically evidence of a struggle, like in the dirt. Like there was obviously a fight here, but it doesn't look like he was injured and dragged himself here.
I mean, it's possible that whatever it was just came out of there and he was just passing by. Let's see if we can see Bo through it. Anything could be on the other side. Bo, do you see anything on the other side?
No, you guys are not there, and it doesn't look like anything is there. I want to just like put one hand through.
You put your hand through slowly, and you don't feel anything the other side. Like you don't feel anything physical. You do feel a temperature drop, and it's almost like you see your hand go through. It's not like liquid, but it is like a black sort of grayish air. And if you do pull your hand back through, you see sand run off of your palm.
Okay. I walk out and around the archway again back to the group, and this seems like there's sand through there. It felt colder, but I didn't feel anything, and nothing grabbed me.
Like temple cold?
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know how long it's been since we've been there, really, but
Or
I
if we ever were there.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think something grabbed him through here. I think he was going to it. He was too smart of a fellow to just walk by an open door, get grabbed by a big spooky wookie. I mean,
That's a good name. We should refer to them as that from now on.
These
my grandma
spooky
called
wookies?
whatever
Yeah,
was
tall things, long fingers, spooky wookies.
Spooky wookies. I just don't think he would have done that. He was too smart to get caught by that. I think he was trying to go this way. And all he's been trying to do is leave for as long as he's been here. I don't know. I think it might be the way.
Are there any markings on the arch?
Yeah, there's a carving of Anubis one side and a carving of Set the other. It's very standard what you've seen in the temple when you were in there before. Anubis with his hands held out, and in one of the hands is a set of scales, and in Set's hands there is a white feather.
Better than staying in this place.
Hopefully.
Well,
Hold hands.
Let's see.
All right, hold on to your butts. Do we walk through? Everyone?
Yeah.
Is there any resistance?
I'm holding hands, but also trying to hold the spear. So I'm like arms crossed to hold the hands to keep the spear.
Pero, I have a thought. So we don't know what this god of chaos looked like, right? I mean, it could maybe be anything.
I mean, he looked like your husband.
So, I mean, maybe Perfect Eddie just anytime we see something weird, just sort of give it a little jab and see if it dies.
You know, there could be unintended consequences for that. And I'm gonna look at Edward very pointedly.
I think Edward's gotten tired, I think, of Cole holding a gun and a flashlight this whole time. And when Teddy looks at him, he puts the gun and the flashlight away and then just attempts to take the spear from the professor.
Oh, thank everything. And he'll hand it to you. Oh.
And it is still wrapped, Edward. It is still completely wrapped, but you can see that sheen of gold and blue as it hits the gemstones.
Okay, then. Eddie, you or I going first?
I guess I'll go first this time because I've got the god-killing weapon.
The
And
big
he's-
guns, see?
He starts to unwrap it and then he holds it in one hand, so he's got a free hand for someone to hold on to before going through the arch.
I'll take his hand. So much better than the spear.
I'll grab Professor Teddy's hand. And I have one open. I'll just reach it back to everyone to get through this hellhole with me.
You feel Aiden sort of reach out, sort of just grabbing onto
I was like, oh, no, I didn't think it was breadstick boy. Shit. And like,
he doesn't hear you. He's sort of looking around and just latched.
I will take up the rear since I have to have at least one hand on this gun. So, Bo, we go?
my lady.
And as you all hold hands, you can step through this archway. And you do feel that temperature drop. You feel like you've almost passed through like a film. Not a liquid, but just a different surface. And you feel it sort of almost run over you as you all step through, still holding hands. And you walk into a almost like a chamber in the temple. Sand on the ground, sandstone walls, very, very square. There's no real character in the shape to this room. But lined up, propped against all the walls, are 12 mirrors. And as you step through, you realize the sand that you grabbed, Bo, is from the wall itself as you step through, and there is no pathway back.
Exactly what I was hoping for. Are there any doors at all or just the mirrors?
Just 12 mirrors.
Bo walks right up to a mirror to check his hair. Just to check his look.
You sit there and you
Yourself
can
up.
just sort of, you
Like-
look. Yeah. You look at one of the mirrors and they're sort of like, They're in pretty good condition from being in a temple for so long. Some of it's got like tarnishing on it, but that's about it. And you can sort of look at yourself, and you actually look pretty good for going through a forest and going through a hospital and going through a shack. But as you get closer and look at your reflection, a hand slaps on the mirror.
Oh!
And runs down. And you see long fingernails before they
hell no.
disappear almost like into a mist.
Okay. I'm gonna look for a stone. I wanna like break it.
Yeah.
Or can I look behind? Is the wall like fixed? I mean, the mirror fixed to the wall?
It's not fixed to the wall. You can easily like move it about. They're not huge. And you can move it aside. In fact, you can move all of them aside. And there's nothing behind them.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip it. Just have the mirror facing the wall.
That's a good plan. You should do that with all of those.
I mean, maybe we should look at them just a bit more, just to make sure it's not going to be something where once none of them face us, the room disappears, or they all spontaneously combust into mirror monsters, or... I could just shoot them all also. This is a possibility. What did you see, Bo?
I saw a hand. I saw a spooky woogie. What did we call it?
Spooky woogie.
That was right.
The spooky woogie hand come at me. So I thought about breaking it. I thought about smashing the damn thing, but I think I'm scared of something coming out of it if I do that. So
We could
stab it with the spear.
Did the spooky woogie come through the mirror, or did it stop it?
It seemed to stop it. It like dragged down the mirror. Like it could see me, or it was trying to get out, trying to grab me.
I'm hesitant to break them because I wonder if maybe this is part of some sort of ritual in the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. I like what Ed's thinking. I think turning them all around, and then it also gives us a chance to take a look at each one, see if there's anything different or special about one of them.
One by one? Yeah. I think it makes sense. I mean, I think we should all look at one at least. We don't know. I mean, it tends to show us things, whatever it is.
So yeah, it could be one of the tricks just to get Bo and everyone else sees nothing, or...
Yeah, could be.
Maybe whoever holds the spear sees something different. I think it's good. We should each look in it and see what we see.
By all means.
All right, I'll walk up to a mirror.
You can walk up to one of the mirrors, and as you look through, you see a whole plane, almost like a desert, a mixture of desert and stone, a very grey space. There doesn't seem to be anything there, and you notice the sand doesn't move, there's no breeze, there's no nothing.
I don't see no hands. I just see a plane. It's not very pretty. It's just kind of rocks and crap.
So maybe Eddie, can you, with this, or if you have a different blade, put any stone below the mirror, maybe a marking of what we see?
Yeah, I can. I don't have anything other than the spear now. We've gone through a few knives at this point, but yeah, I can try and carve something at the bottom. Sure.
And you can even just draw it in the sand, because there is sand on the ground here, and you can mark what you see. And is anyone else looking at another mirror?
Teddy, you want to go? Or Breadstick Boy?
All right. And I'll just go across the room and like random mirror.
You can pick a completely random one. You see a street lit by lamps. Nothing there. You can actually see a car parked on the side. But it's sort of dusk, getting into nighttime. You can see the lamps. Sort of, it's not foggy, but there's that evening mist sort of setting in. And there's no one there, no one walking the streets.
I see civilization, and it looks wonderful.
Is there tequila?
There's automobiles.
Typically, I try not to mix the two.
That's wise.
Can we mark that one just to remember that that's what you saw on that one?
Sure, I'll like go down into the sand and draw a little like car in the sand with my finger.
I can look at one, if you want.
You can look over at one of them. And again, it seems to be sort of dusk time. And you see what looks like maybe two neighbors leaning over a fence and talking to each other, having a chat. Not really doing anything in particular, but just chatting. Nothing else.
Does it seem to be like residential, farmer?
Residential. You can see houses that seem pretty new, actually. They're all very, very similar. And all the gardens are kept in a very similar sort of way as well as these neighbors. And they look friendly to each other as they chat over this fence.
Can I tell what country this would be in based off the architecture?
Of the architecture, I would say England.
Very gently. I just want to tap it.
As you go to tap it, your finger goes through this mirror.
And don't tap the mirror. So this one is two neighbors in England just sort of talking to each other. You don't really seem to be saying anything particular. I tried to touch it, but my finger sort of went through it. So I think maybe we can go into these worlds or mirrors.
You can look at the other mirrors, another and another, and you see many scenes, sort of very regular scenes, nothing really impactful, not something you recognize until you come to an image of a dock and a boat, a ship, and you see Edward running along the dock towards the ship. You see people going on up the gangplank, the last few bags being loaded, and in the background you see Beck just watching.
And this is my favorite part, is where Eddie falls in the water.
Yeah, you watch him run and jump and miss. I'm sorry. You can watch him do that.
This is...
I'm sorry, I don't mean to joke, but I don't remember seeing this back at the time.
No, and he's
Well, weren't we already on the boat?
Oh, see, I was already drowning myself in tequila, but
If we're seeing this happen, this is we could take the statue out of Edward's hands and just throw it, and then not get on the boat. We could tell them not to get on the boat. Our past selves.
it's probably too late. He already took the thing.
we could try to give it back, or like to the person you got it from.
But like, didn't Beck say he never left? He could never get out of there. What's he doing in that scene then?
Oh,
Maybe we can ask him.
Above the mirrors, it's almost like sand falls away to reveal hieroglyphics above these mirrors. And Professor, you feel Aiden like tapping your arm, pointing up at this. He's like, it's changing the letters, they're changing, and surely
what? Oh,
the hieroglyphs almost move and start to form English words that read survive the 12 or remain in oblivion.
what? And I'll just smack whoever is right next to me, which I think is probably Maria, because we were looking at.
See, I see. So we have to go through each mirror and make sure we don't die.
You're so brave.
I mean, it's no use being scared if it has to happen anyway. It's just an expenditure of energy.
I mean, I think it's worth the risk, no matter what. Do you want to be here forever? I want to go.
I think the question.
People, gods, want their stuff back? Why do we have to go through all this shit just to give them some old crap?
Punishment.
Sorry, had to let it out.
I mean, if nothing else, I think probably Eddie will no longer take anything from pyramids again. Eddie, I'm not going with you next time. I think the other question is, have we already been through this mirror?
That's a good question.
Do we go to the next one then? Do we just pick one randomly? Is there an order to anything? I guess.
Are there any hieroglyphics above the rest of them?
No, this is literally almost like a sign for all of them.
I'm just gonna yell at the hieroglyphics. If we're in that one, does it count?
There is no response.
Right.
What's the one to the right of that?
That is the street.
Should we start with the street? Do we want to go straight to the boat?
The boat does have tequila. But I am very sick of boats.
I want to drink it either. Last time I did that on a fake boat, it turned into sand.
So,
Yeah.
More words begin to form as the others fall away. Nothing is what it seems. Paths are not clear. Do not fight back.
well, see if everything is changing right now. I guess it would be a fight to try to figure out which one to go into, and just easier to just start at the boat. See?
See.
Maybe
Gotta
at least we
start
can
somewhere.
talk to Beck.
If he's
I don't know if I trust this Beck no more. I could have sworn he had told us that he had never been able to leave.
Well, if nothing
I
says
remember
it,
that also.
then perhaps it's not leaving.
Yeah. It's true. I guess, yeah, so into the boat, I guess.
Unfortunately.
Want to hold hands?
With you, Always, sister.
All right, everyone grab a hand. Let's get through this thing. And don't eat the breadsticks, Aiden. It's probably not real.
Yeah, okay. Don't eat breadsticks. Yep, no, I can do that.
I think it's called sand sticks at this point. Start moseying through this mirror.
Well, whatever it is, I won't eat it. And he just sort of follows. Do you all step through this mirror? Okay. You all step through this mirror. The other side is not the boat. There is no Edward. There is no Beck. There is no Lady Cairo. There is that open space, almost like desert, and stone and sand lay on the ground. And the sky swirls dark. It's grey, it's clouded. There seem to be strange rocks jutting out from the ground here and there, some cliff faces, but there's no buildings, there's no people. There's just dense cloud. And I won't say, it's not like pitch black or anything, just dull. Just everything seems to be very grey. And there is a moment of silence as you stand here. There's no birds. There's no wind. There's nothing. And there is no mirror behind you.
Alrighty. Do we just keep marching on until we find whatever's trying to kill us and we try not to die?
Unless you have a mirror in your pocket you're not telling me about.
No, it's not much point. I know I look like shit like this point already, so let's just keep on marching.
I'm Maria, kind of like your hair a little bit. You look beautiful.
Thanks, friend.
My shotgun is out.
Death clouds out, guns out.
Same.
So you start walking.
Forward, away from where the mirror used to be, I assume.
Yeah, you're sort of almost like in just a huge empty space. And as I said, there's no wind, there's no sound of like birds or creatures or anything of any kind. It's almost still. So much so you can almost hear your own heart beating in your ears. And you walk one step at a time. And could you all make a spot hidden check for me, please?
Probably not. Nope.
Hard success.
Okay. So Bo and Edward. Bo, the first thing you see is this thing crouched on the floor about 50 feet away. Just crouched on all fours, sort of wiping and drawing in the sand. It's of human shape, but it looks broken. The limbs don't look right. It's very hunched and very tall. But Edward, on a hard success, you see the creatures that no one else does. As this same sort of image you see lurking around sides of the rock, lurking in the darker places, and you realize there are hundreds of eyes watching all of you, these creatures, and some of them aren't crouched on the floor. They're, as I said, very human in shape, slightly twisted, something wrong, but they're clinging to the cliff faces, crawling across them like spiders.
I will attempt to very quietly get the group to stop walking forward.
Okay. Are you being subtle or?
Well, I've got this spear, so I'll walk a step or two, assuming we're roughly in a line. I'll walk a step or two in front and put one arm out and the spear out as like a barrier to just be like, okay, stop.
Yeah, you can do that. Oh, you don't need to roll for that. And you can stop everyone in their path.
And then there's creatures. There's hundreds of them. They're on the cliff. There's some on the ground. I don't know what. This is a lot.
Should we try throwing things again to distract them?
Are they aggressive?
They don't look aggressive yet, but they're definitely... something's wrong with them. They're not... They look sort of like humans, but they're crawling around like spiders and other things. It almost makes me think of when we got chased in the temple originally.
When we lost Breadstick Boy.
Yeah.
You can see Aiden is now like very rigid, very quiet as these things have been spotted. I pointed out to him as he's breathing very heavily, recognizing these sort of creatures again. And you're very aware, Edward, that these ones are not blind. They're literally watching your every movement. And you can hear that scurry, that sort of as some of them move across the walls, up the side of the cliffs, almost to get a better look. And you can see lots of rocks around you, sort of towering up. You can see some overhangs. And they just seem to be looking and watching. And Bo, that one you're focused on, doesn't seem to have noticed, just very interested in whatever is going on the ground in front, just swishing about in the sand.
Well, we were told we had to survive whatever's in these mirrors, so some way or another we're facing these things.
Or we just passed through.
Yeah, but what is that one digging at, Bo?
I can't tell. It's just messing with the ground.
Do you think it's something? Sorry.
I don't know what it could be. But should we look at it? I don't think we should get close to it. I think we need to skirt on by as quietly as we can.
Unless it's digging for a mirror. The path is not, what did it say, straightforward, obvious, something like that?
The paths are not clear.
Maybe he's clearing the path.
It is the only one that appears uninterested in us.
The question is, if we go near it, does it get interested in us?
Bo did say, what if we skirt around like Bo had mentioned, but kind of like try to take a peek at what it's doing? If it's nothing that we care about, when we just keep sneaking on by.
How close is he compared to the ones who are focused on us?
He's about 50 feet away from you. I would say the ones that are like the closest ones that are watching are about 70 feet away. So you'd have a 20-foot difference.
I can try to get a little bit closer.
Whoever is the quietest, I think, which is not me.
Stealthiness, I only have 20.
If my stealthiness had a number that I could put a value to it, I would also say I think it would be 20.
So on a scale of 1 to 100, I would say maybe a 20 also for me.
No, I really feel like we have a lot in common right now.
Oh my gosh.
This is why we're so bad at everything. None of us pick stealth. We've been caught every time.
What's Edward?
There's a long, quiet sigh as everyone talks about how to try and be sneaky. And I want to say maybe slightly uncharacteristically, he gives everyone a smirk and says, I'll go look, just wait. And then I will attempt to sneak up to whatever's going on at the closest one.
You know what to roll.
You want to use an advantage?
I want to use the only advantage I've got?
The thing is if you use advantage, you will succeed both times.
Right. Every time I've spent advantage, I've succeeded both times. If I don't spend advantage, I fail. But
come on, you can break the routine.
I've got a 75 in stealth. We're gonna give it a try without advantage.
75.
Extreme success.
Okay. Edward, how do you approach this thing?
I think both going into his military training and the fact of what his occupation was, he slowly goes from whatever rocky outcropping he can find to block view, and he's very slow and careful and measured. And if you watch his feet, even on the rocky, sandy floor, he's very cautiously, almost stepping like heel toe, rolling his feet to keep himself as silent as possible.
Yeah, you can almost hop from rock to rock, seeing the ones close up. You can get closer and closer. It's almost like you're not even leaving a footprint in the sand here. And you get very close to this thing that's looking down at the ground. And you can get to at least like 4 feet away. As you look over this sort of black jagged rock that's protruding from the ground. And you see it's almost like a very old man looking down, sort of talking to himself. You can hear that chatter of don't do this, don't do that, can't do this, can't do that. It's sort of like swiping away at the sand. His face very drawn, very thin. And as you see him reaching out with his fingers, he hasn't got too long of fingers. It's not like anything from before. These are very human fingers. They just look very gnarled, very bony. And you do see linen wrapped around his arms. He also wears your army uniform. As he sits there shifting away at the sand, you can easily, especially on a roll of 5, you see him shifting around just above a mirror. And it's like he's trying to clear it just to see clearer, but you can hear him muttering. He's like, gotta keep it, gotta catch it, gotta get it, can't get lost, can't. And you see a cigarette drop from his front pocket. And I need you to roll a sanity check for me, please.
I'm going to spend my advantage here.
Yes.
Well, hard success.
Yeah. You look face to face with yourself. A very old version of yourself, very hunched, limbs look out of place, look broken, sort of wrist from wrist all the way up to your upper arm wrapped in old linen, face very drawn. I need to get back, I need to find her, to know she existed, but then what if? And you can hear just this mumbling, and it doesn't tend to make any sense as he's sort of swiping away at this mirror.
I think Edward will try and talk to himself.
What is the first thing you say to yourself?
So, I crouch down with the spear across my knees in case I need it to kill myself. As weird as that sounds right now. And I look at this other version of me and I just ask, where do you need to get back?
At your words, it's almost like it hasn't even noticed you here as it sort of snaps back to look at you, and you see your face very drawn, very weathered, very old. And it doesn't run, it doesn't dart. It sort of crouches away from you, sort of hovering over the mirror. And it looks at you and moves almost like a snake, watching your movements, trying to figure out who you are. Who are you? What does it want? Couldn't get back. Got stuck.
You couldn't get back where?
Back to the room. And it sort of leans forward. It doesn't get too close to you, but it does lean forward towards you. And there's a smile on its face, almost as if it's chuckling. It's like, I'm a murderer. And it's sort of, again, that almost snake-like motion as it moves its head. I could have had so much. So I need to find it. To find the way out. And then I'll get back and I can make it work. Make everything work. Undo things. Not kill. Money's nothing here. Don't need it. Don't want it. This, it starts tapping its head. Need this. And again, it sort of returns to the mirror, almost ignoring you, just swiping away. And this mirror is completely cleared now. There's nothing else to move, but keeps on doing it. And you see all of these eyes as to, from your position, looking. They're not looking at you with your self-roll, but you can see them above you, around you, and in front of you, watching the others behind you.
I think rather than risking trying to walk back to the group, he'll just turn slightly and motion for them to come up to where he is.
The rest of you see this. You see Edward beckoning to all of you. And
I'm gonna look down. Are there is it just sand on the ground, or are there rocks and things?
no, there's rocks like protruding from the ground, and it's almost like a large cobbled stone as well, with sand mixed in between. There's more sand than there is stone. You imagine it's probably underneath the sand, but it's definitely sand.
Can I find a couple of stones that are loose enough to pick up?
Yeah, you can find some like chunks of rocks and things like that. They've seems broken off.
All right, I'm going to grab like the two like biggest ones that you could hold in your hand, and turn to Aiden and hand them to him.
What is this, Professor?
Just in case you need to defend yourself or throw it to
Do you
distract.
think I'm gonna have to kill one of them?
I don't know. Just hold on to this.
Okay. And he suddenly looks a lot more panicked as he holds them, almost very close to his chest.
Theodore's gonna feel bad because he was trying to instill some confidence in Aiden. But I'll just go down and pick another small rock up just to hold for myself and go over to Edward.
Okay. I will say there is no point you rolling stealth because they can all see you. They can't see Edward, but they can see all of you. And I'm going to take a really quick bio, so I'll be right back.
So hey everyone, if you like spooky shit here on Scratticus Academy, go ahead and give us a follow and a subscribe, and maybe tip to help Edward because he's probably going to need it. I finally got lucky, but that's not going to hold.
I mean, it's true. Whenever Eddie rolls twice, he always succeeds. So you should give him all of your rerolls. I don't need them. I shoot everything. I try to.
All right, what do I have?
There's a reason why when I did my Patreon re-up just now today, I was like, you know what, Scrat, give me my auto success. I'm gonna need it. Also, I totally I had the same thought when you texted in the back room chat to spill the drink. I'm like, do I want to spill my drink?
Yeah.
I'm hoping with this mirror here that we can get through it without having to deal with all of this.
I think the real question is, if that you is you, but also the Chaos God, and you kill it with the Chaos Spear, do you achieve immortality or do you die?
Alright, who needs it? You need it, I assume?
Advantage currently and an auto success, so you can do whatever you want with it, Britt.
I'll give it to Paige. Paige doesn't have one.
So, how are you all approaching Edward? Aiden is there with his rock, seeing Theodore pick up some rocks. You see him stand up a little bit straighter, trying to mimic, almost like following his footsteps. But how are the rest of you approaching?
Backwards with my gun aimed at our 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be kind of somewhat in front of people with the shotgun and trying to mimic the rolled footsteps that Ed did.
I'll be doing the same, but with my revolver.
I just imagine us like Charlie's Angelsing around the professor and Aiden.
Oh god, that's like the nerdy.
Aiden and Teddy are just walking, and you guys are doing like the combat rolls and stuff like that.
You're just the nerdy nougat center of
This also makes Edward Bosley, I'm just saying. But yeah, you can approach, and you can approach Edward. You're very aware how all these things are still looking at you. They don't move. Their line of sight is constantly on you. They do not make any movements to approach, but they watch, and you can reach Edward, and you see the same scene he sees.
So that's me. There's a mirror. This is really creepy. I'm hoping the mirror will take us out of here.
What do you see in the mirror?
I haven't looked yet. I was busy talking to myself.
Maria, thinking quickly back to the hospital for a moment, kind of shakes her head. Maybe someone else should look since old you can't find it. Well, you need. I can look. Yeah, see.
I mean, I could look too. I was trying to figure out what I was do. This is weird.
All right. You gonna do it? I'll do it with you, Maria.
Okay.
So you're approaching this older Eddie. And are you moving slowly? Are you moving fast? What are you doing?
Slow.
Okay. And you move very slowly and approach, and he's watching you go, very wide-eyed, very, very sort of wrinkled, sunken in face. And he's crouched over the mirror. And with each step you take, Idris, Professor, and Edward, you see these things take a step forward. Again, they're not close to you, but they take a step. And this older Edward pauses. What do you want? We're trapped. You're trapped. I'm trapped. I need to get out. I need to get out of the gates of Jewett. And then you see him just sort of reach out his hands. 12 gates. And then look confused. And 2 fingers start to grow from the other side. 12 gates.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we're trying to do too.
Tell me, old Edward, how many gates you have been through?
And he sort of pauses and almost walks slightly towards you, again on all fours. Maria, that's your name, that's your name. And he sort of starts like almost grabbing what's left of your skirts. It's sort of grabbing at them, and he's just, it's been so long. So long. Where did you go? You left me. You said you wouldn't leave me.
No, of course I no leave you. See, you are right here.
And sort of doesn't really look beyond you and Bo. It's like the man from the films. And again, it's all sort of stumbling. And again, he almost falls over as he grabs hold of you now, Bo. I'm not dead.
No, I'm fine, man. Get a hold of yourself. We're gonna get out of here, okay?
And he starts chuckling as he don't get out.
Well, I can't stay in one place too long, so...
It's here. And he sort of moves away from you again and sort of crouches very, very low towards the mirror and starts knocking on the glass. Like, they won't let me in.
Who won't let you?
My friends. You. All of you.
And so this is like laying flat on the ground?
Yeah, it's literally laying flat on the ground.
Can I like try to reach around under it and see if like it has fallen over? If it's like one of the other ones? And it's just fallen over?
You can reach around. He watches you the entire way and almost moves around the side with you as you do. And you can see it's not fallen over. It's almost like it's built into the ground itself. And as you look over, it's almost like you see that street again, those cars, but it's dark now. And Maria and Bo, as you stand there and you two look into this glass, into this mirror, you hear a phone ring. Not specifically from the mirror, just from around.
I'll look around and listen to try and see where it's coming from.
Can you all make a listen check for me, please? Okay. As you listen out for this phone, you sort of do look towards the mirror. You can hear it all around. In the middle of the road is a table with a red phone ringing.
I want to, tap the mirror with my, the toe of my shoe. Does it seem solid or like the other ones?
You start to go through it.
I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah, the older Edward is like, no, as you sort of fall through it. What about the rest of you?
Well, Maria disappeared, so I'm just gonna offer a hand to Idris to help her go down next.
This older Edward is like, you can't leave me again. You can't just go, and you can't just leave me. And you hear that scurry as these things slowly start making their way down the sides of these cliff faces.
We'll take you with us this time.
Yeah, you'll come with us. We just, ladies first.
You promised that. You promised me, Professor, and it sort of walks over to you again, sort of like clawing at your shirt, like just trying to get hold of you and stand upright. Can't leave me this time, not like
that. Lord. When I get pulled through, I'm gonna pull Bo with me and be like, Daddy, just come on. He's not worth it. Let's just keep going.
This could be part of the test. It's really bringing someone with us, like empathy.
And all these things start crawling closer and closer, and those who haven't gone through the mirror, you see yourselves in multiple forms in these sort of disjointed, broken up figures, full white eyes, as they start scurrying towards you.
Yeah, let's go.
I finished halfway through.
Touch the mirror. Does my hand go down into it?
Your hand goes down into it. Aiden's looking like, what do we do? What do we do? Do we just jump? Do we
Just go in, Aiden. Just go in.
I can't leave you over here.
Just go. And I'm gonna take old Edward's hand and then see if both of our hands will go through together.
Yours goes through, and his clunks on the glass. You promised you wouldn't go without me. You promised.
I'm gonna look at real Edward.
We have to go. We have if we fix this, it won't matter.
And again, there's that scurrying, and you see the ones closest that are about, as I said, 20 feet away, start to break into a run.
You go first.
No, you go. Both of you.
We go together.
Sure. Bo, go. Teddy and I'll go last.
I'm already through. He just pulled me through.
Yeah, it's just you, Aiden, and I up there right now.
Okay. With the butt of the spear, Edward tries to push Aiden towards the mirror because he needs a hand on the spear and a hand for Teddy.
You can ease it, like Aiden's going, Professor, as he sort of points over towards all these things that are running, and you can just butt him into the end of the spear, and you see him drop one of the rocks as he sort of pulls through this mirror.
Yeah, I'm clutching onto Edward's hands, and I'm gonna look at old Edward.
Where are you going? You can't. No.
I'm taking you with me this time, though. And I'm gonna jump in, clutching onto young Edward.
And you jump through this mirror, both of you. And it's almost like you upright yourself and then fall down on a pavement as you look up at this almost just space in the air where you see older Edward. You promised, and you just see this blackness sort of scurry over. And he disappears. And you're stood in a high street.
Look at Edward. Are you all right?
No, nothing about this is all right. I
Did
have
leave you behind.
No, you didn't. Thank you. But I mean, I haven't. I'm out of cigarettes. There's no alcohol. Nothing about this is okay. And those, let's keep going. There's nothing to do but keep going.
The phone's still ringing?
I am going. Oh, sorry.
The phone is not ringing.
Is it there?
It is there.
Okay.
I'm going to give Edward the most terse, perfunctory, brief hug and then let go. And then turn around and go.
And you can turn around, and this street is dark. Apart from these lamps, a few automobiles, and a man stood at the other end of the street, almost in full, complete shadow. You see a dog with him.
Does the dog respond to us?
Neither move. I know you want this dog to love you.
I do! It's the only thing I want in life. He's the best boy.
That phone starts to ring again. But Idris, only you hear it. And Edward, somewhere, you can hear a child crying.
Well, that's a bit creepy. All right. The phone's ringing again.
I don't hear it.
Shit. Well, I think I got something calling me. And I'll walk over to the phone.
It's in the middle of this road on this small stall. It's not plugged into anything, but it's ringing. You see that man at the other end of the street, sort of shrouded in darkness, not lit by the lamps, as he sways from side to side.
I pick up the unlogical phone.
And you hear, "Hello? Hello? Is anyone there?"
Yes? Who is this?
"Hello, this is Ruth. I was wondering what time you were coming around for tea. You did promise. It'd be so lovely to see you again."
I think you have the wrong number.
It is Idris, isn't it?
Oh, crap. No, you don't. Yes.
How are you, my dear? It's been quite a while.
Not long enough, but I'm great. Thank
How's
you.
your family? How's your mother?
I don't know. I haven't talked to her in about, I don't know how many years now.
Well, how about your father?
Same boat, Ruth. I think you know this.
Well, no, that's why I'm asking, dear. You were
Yeah.
definitely a daddy's girl. I do remember that when you were growing up.
Yeah, you're right, but I still haven't talked to him in a few years.
And the voice changes slightly. Are you still Daddy's little girl, Idris?
I think after I left, I was anything, Ruth.
That's a shame. And the phone hangs up.
Yeah, I'll turn back to the group and be like, it was nothing. Just creepy Ruth.
Creepy Ruth.
Yeah, creepy Ruth. You know, the creepy lady.
Ah, see, yes, I remember.
Yeah, she kind of hung up on me.
Oh, did she mean to call you?
Yeah, she wanted to know about my mom and my dad, and there's really not much to tell if you haven't talked to someone in like 3 or so, 4 or 5 maybe years. Ain't much point. I told her she already knew the answers, but she was a little indignant, in my opinion, for being, crazy.
So you knew Ruth?
No. No. But she knew me.
Oh, okay.
Did she know you before you came here? Or is this one of these, I don't know you, but somehow I know your whole life story things?
I would think the latter. A little bit there. She seemed to know my relationship to my parents, and that was about it.
The dog starts to move and pad over to you.
Oh.
It
Eddie?
walks over to you, just this Great Dane, and pads straight past you. And you see it go past. And see it go past. And it stops a little way down the other end of the road. And waits.
You know, they say in my culture that you have animal spirit guides, so it's possible that is what this is. Or it's a trap. But they see you have the spear. I think maybe someone else should have the not fire on a stick torch. The flashlight.
Sure, yeah. And he awkwardly holds the spear and takes out the flashlight.
I cannot take it. Bo cannot take it.
Teddy.
Sure. The agent's looking at you with 2 rocks in his hand, like, I can't.
One rock, so I will take the torch. Flashlight. Damn it.
Curse you, Alice.
You wanna light up that fellow over there first?
Pass the light over.
You pass the light over. You see John Cooper in his white linen suit, walking stick, but his head is arched back as if he's looking up at the sky. A smile on his face. And he starts to sway. From then it's not so much of a sway, but a 1-2 step. Almost like a dance. Still looking up at the sky.
No, look up.
Nothing there. But he smiles broadly.
Gonna pan the light away from him.
You hear his footsteps, his waltzing footsteps, slowly make their way towards you.
Okay, I follow the dog.
Yeah, I like the idea of following the dog now. Yeah, I agree.
I have curiosity about what he is looking up there. Maybe you can only see it when you're right under it, but my curiosity, it has its bounds, and I think the dog I trust more.
I'm gonna click the light off because you said that there were like oil lamps in this street, right?
Lining the street, yeah.
clicking the torch off.
You see him pass under the first one and then back into the darkness the other side. You hear him humming. Just a sort of a, not really any sort of tune, but it's what he's using to dance to.
As everyone follows the dog, Bo will be in the back walking backwards, keeping an eye on Mr. Cooper.
The dog doesn't move, but you can walk up to the dog. You can walk behind the dog, so that you are like almost have the dog in between you and him. And he gets closer and closer and closer as he dances, now moving his shoulders and his arms as if dancing with an invisible partner.
Well, I have a very stupid idea. So, Anubis is kind of a dog, and this is a dog, so maybe we see if he wants a statue and we can just leave.
Gets to the last point of just take the statue.
Yep, it's pretty damn silly, but I'll try it. I'll go up to the dog and like do the thing and let it try and sniff my hand, be like, hey big guy.
Caswell, his name's Caswell.
Caswell.
And these eyes look up at you, but he doesn't move. His nose doesn't twitch or anything, but he just looks. And John Cooper dances that little bit closer.
I will delicately unwrap the statue and just kind of show it to the dog.
He licks
You
it.
like it, boy?
He licks it. And John Cooper dances right past you. Past Caswell. Past all of you. Down the street. Still humming, still grinning, wide-eyed up at the sky.
I didn't think that was what was going to happen. I think we were all thinking a little something worse, but maybe we're supposed to follow John Cooper?
Absently scratching dog's ear that way they like.
You see him sort of like twitch his head as you do. He doesn't seem very responsive, but there is some form of response.
Do we take the dog too?
I don't know. Let's see if it works. And I like tap my leg. I'm like, Caswell, come on, boy, let's get it going. Follow Daddy.
And he more just sort of looks over at you, like lolls his head to the side, lolls back, and starts to pad after John Cooper, who is now about 20 feet ahead of you. Like he's going as he walks down this high street.
All right. Should we follow?
Yeah. Wrap up the statue head again and be like, all right, guess we still have this thing for now.
And you hear that humming again and again as he goes, as he dances. And then he stops dead. I need you to make a spot hidden check.
Stops dead or
No,
stops?
just stops.
Okay.
Not to, no, just actually.
Like, what? Call of Cthulhu.
Critical success.
Holy moly.
Hell yeah.
Okay, the rest of you stop at seeing John Cooper halt. However, Edward, you notice that Caswell is looking straight past you, back where you came from. There's another mirror. Almost seems to be lighting up underneath one of the oil lamps. It's very faint. It's almost like you were looking at a shadow, like you wouldn't have been able to see it there if the dog hadn't spotted it. And for the rest of you, John Cooper has stopped and he slowly starts to turn around. Very slowly, that smile still up in the air.
I'm not sure what's going to happen here with John, everyone, but I found the mirror. It's back the other way. If we want to head towards it, it might be a good idea. But, you know, I don't know. Everything in this place is terrible. So,
Yeah, to the mirror.
As John Cooper rotates, Theodore, you feel Aiden grab you, like, his feet aren't touching the floor. And his head snaps down. That huge smile across his face is definitely John Cooper, but the smile now reaches up to where the tops of his ears rest. And he breaks into a run.
I run.
All right, whistle for Caswell to run with us, does he?
Stays exactly where he is sat.
I'm gonna try to scoop him up. Get your butt out.
Okay, this is a Great Dane, so I'm gonna need you to roll a strength as you try and carry this Great Dane.
I want to use my advantage. I love Caswell.
I'm gonna start running, but
I don't need it.
Theodore is just gonna indignantly yell back, "You're trying so hard to rescue a dog, but you wouldn't let me rescue old Edward. This is absurd."
As you all start running, could you roll me a dexterity as you run, as you realize that this version of John Cooper is running unhumanly fast?
None of these things are real. Stop trying to save random people and dogs.
Can I use my auto success on this?
If you want, yeah, go for
Yeah, I already have a Great Dane in my hand. I'm not taking chances here.
I don't know if I have my auto success still. I might.
it.
yeah, you do.
I already
According to
rolled
Bill.
though.
You do.
I've
Okay.
already rolled and failed.
Okay, so Bo and Idris fail. I swear this happened last time.
The last time it was Bo and I, because Bo tripped over a root and then I just like fell on Bo.
That was it.
I specifically would like to try and be last because I have the spear.
Okay, so as it's going, you see Theodore sprint as he's crying back after Maria, who is somehow sprinting and carrying a Great Dane at the same time. Like, as
I imagine like a lamb.
I mean, she's got the big guns, right? That's
this dog is just doesn't seem to be bothered by anything, literally just like a dead weight, and you've somehow managed on an extreme success to just pick him up and you're going with him. However, Idris and Bo, at seeing the sight of John Cooper come sprinting towards you, it's like you freeze in horror. And he gets closer and closer. And Edward, you can sprint, but you can also see this happening as you see John Cooper sprinting closer to Idris and Bo, and now reaching out with a hand, and his face completely warps. That smile stretches and drops below his chest, and you just see this darkness and this scream.
Both because I barely succeeded on that roll and because I said I was going to try and be last. As soon as I see them stop and I turn around and see what's going on, and I will instead use my dex, if you'll let me, to get between them and John, and I want to attack him with the spear.
Okay, so roll me a dex and then roll me either a brawl or because there's not like a spear thing, I will also allow you to use gun if you're throwing it.
Well, I got a hard success on the dex,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll use. Can I just roll with the knife and ignore the damage since I have this?
Yes,
that.
of course, yeah.
I'm gonna. Shit. No.
Yeah, so Idris and Bo, it's almost like you haven't frozen in fear. It's almost like you look into its eyes and you see something there. You see something in there that makes everything in you stop. But there's that flash of color almost as Edward jumps in front of you, brandishing this flash of gold. However, as much as he gets in front of you, John Cooper comes crashing into you, knocking all three of you over. And Edward, you do have the spear in between you and John, but now you can see this huge stretch of mouth, so you can see this darkness, and I need all three of you to make a sanity check, please, as he starts to try and crawl over to you, and he is reaching for all of your eyes.
Ooh.
Do I have to announce that I want to use my auto success first?
Yes, you do need to announce it first, but yes, there we go. So,
do I want to use my advantage or do I want to watch Edward go insane? We're going to flip this coin because I honestly don't know which would be more entertaining. I'm going to just roll and see if I make it.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay, you all lose 5 sanity as you are almost lost in the eyes of this creature. Edward, where are you on sanity right now?
I'm at 27 now with this 5.
Okay. And as you sort of all freeze up and you look into this almost this gaping mouth, and from within the mouth, all three of you see these tentacles reaching up the throat, reaching out of the mouth, and starting to crawl over you. And you all feel like you're being constricted like a snake as these tentacles start to wrap around you and around you. And you hear screaming from somewhere, and your throat feels ragged until you realize it is your own screams. And Theodore and Maria sprinting off and carrying a Great Dane. You turn back, you don't see these tentacles, but you actually see Idris, Edward, and Bo laying dead straight, very, very still, mouths stretched open and screaming.
Do we still see John Cooper?
You can see John Cooper as he's sort of leering over all three of them.
I'm turning around, shooting an angry look at Maria, and I'm rushing back to go try to lay out Cooper.
If you're going to lay out Cooper, I need you to draw me it. I'll give you the choice of either a brawl or a strength, because I feel this like a tackle, like a full-blown boof into him, or...
Yeah.
Roll whichever you would prefer.
Hard success.
Describe it for me as you go charging towards John Cooper.
Okay, so I'm angry because I like most of these people for the most part, and I'm gonna just rush past Maria, put down the damn dog, and rush towards Cooper. Like, I've got the rock in my hand still, and I'm gonna use that rock to just launch my fist at his face as I'm trying to pile into him to knock him to the ground away from them.
Yeah, as you do this, Edward, Bo, and Idris, as that rock makes contact, it's like you can breathe again. Like, you feel like you can sit upright. You feel like you're gasping for air, but you see the professor come out of nowhere with just this rock and slam into John Cooper, and he sort of flies off of you, and you can see this rock as this bludgeoning force hits him in the side of the head. You can hear Aiden screaming in the distance somewhere, running towards the situation as well, but he is not here right now. Maria, what are you doing? Idris, dog. Idris, dog.
It could be Anubis. We could say no.
I don't blame her.
And put the dog down. And after seeing Teddy fly past in this rage, kind of also run up. And they're all still like kind of on the ground, right?
Like probably you've just seen them stop screaming. They're breathing again. They're moving again. They're no longer rigid.
I'm gonna try to grab the spear and get this guy as he's flying away from the bludgeoning force.
Now, Edward was holding onto it because he went rigid. He was holding onto it quite tight. Edward, you're coming round, so your grip can loosen, but are you letting go of the spear if Maria runs towards you?
If I realize she's trying to grab it, I might let go, yeah.
Yeah. You can tell it's her trying to grab it. And so Maria, could you roll a brawl or a knife attack for me, please, if you're running towards this thing?
I would love to. There it is. Stunningly terrible at brawling, actually. I only know how to shoot guns.
You grab this spear, it's a very tiny staff at the moment, and you've just seen Professor Teddy completely take out this John Cooper, and you run towards it, and this John sort of drops more to his knees than anything after being hit with this rock. So as you lash out, you completely miss. But what is Edward, Idris, and Bo doing right now after this happens? You have a temporary sanity where you feel like your chest is tight. You feel like it's difficult to breathe.
I grab Bo and Edward and be like, all right, and like try to help us all three up using the momentum of three. Like, I think we can get back up now and try to get to my feet.
You can get to your feet easily.
Yeah, trying to take a slow breath, just trying to slow down, because I will have a panic attack if I feel like I can't breathe. So he's like short and shallow, but slow, and to get enough strength to aim and shoot at Cooper. And then I like kind of gesture to everyone else to go towards the mirror, and I'm walking back towards it slowly.
Okay. First of all, roll the gun for me, just so I can see. Okay. You, first of all, Professor, you are stood over this John Cooper who is lolling dazed on the floor. And your first sort of thing that brings you back to the real world is that you see this flash of gold of Maria swinging the spear and Aiden coming running up behind you and grabbing you by the arms like, that was amazing! You're all right, we need to go. We need to go now. We need to run. And he starts trying to drag you over towards the mirror.
Yes. I look down to make sure everyone else is getting up and moving. And
you see Bo trying to pull themselves up and trying to shakily aim a gun, and the gunshot goes off. It does not hit, but you see John Cooper sort of lazily, again, almost like a snake, weaving, trying to gain focus, trying to look up at all of you.
I'll sort of lean down and try to help Bo up.
Yeah, you can help Bo up easily. Are the rest of you looking it?
I will wait until I'm kind of holding him at spear point until like they're kind of outie, at least halfway there.
Where's the dog?
probably really close to the mirror where I had to leave the dog. I considered just pulling my gun out with the dog on my shoulders, but I also thought that probably wouldn't work.
Dog is probably the size of Maria.
Yeah, this is a big dog. But you can sprint and you can run. You can all start heading towards the mirror as you see John Cooper starting to stand, starting to shift, starting to move and get taller and taller and getting almost into that much larger form. And you're all running straight through the mirror. Yeah. You can all run straight through the mirror.
Can I pick up the dog again? Is that a possibility?
Pick up the dog. I'm letting you pick up the dog. And you can all just shoot through this mirror. And some of you hit things the other side as you realize you're in a very small space. You're in a room and you see yourself. There's a mirror there, a mirror there. There's almost like a hall of mirrors, a maze, as you see many, many reflections of yourself looking around, confused like you, as this dog is also sort of going up to the mirror, having a look at itself, licking the mirror and then sitting itself down. But otherwise you're in this mirror maze.
See, that he could come through the mirror.
Everyone touch the mirror. Find which one leads to a path.
Then find the one that sinks us in.
But what if the rest are full of spooky woogies?
I think it's a guarantee that there's spooky wookies at this point.
Yeah, we've already encountered one in the two we've been in.
And would you, if anyone who would like to roll a spot hidden check or a listen check, please.
Success on my listen check.
Listen check.
I'd also like to give the spear back to Eddie, as he seems to be kind of coming back into it.
Okay. So all of you, apart from Eddie, failed, but you can all walk around and fill these mirrors. And you're just met with, that line of reflections all the way down the hallways. But Edward, you hear like heels from concrete somewhere. And as you sort of turn, you get a glimpse of Charlotte walking in one direction round a corner. And again, touching these mirrors, but you're not going through any of them.
Teddy, that was pretty amazing, actually. But I think I just saw Charlotte walk by one of these mirrors.
Oh, it was nothing. Just, a little bit of, pugilism. I'm sure you could also hold your own. Charlotte? What?
Yeah, I heard footsteps that obviously weren't us, and I turned, and he looks around. I'm not 100% sure now, but I thought it looked like Charlotte walking around a corner.
Right then. I'm just gonna start walking around and poking mirrors then.
Poking mirrors. So you can all start walking around and poking these mirrors. And you walk around for a bit. And as you go, every now and then you think you see Charlotte. She smiles at you briefly and beckons to you and disappears around a corner. And slowly as you move, it's almost like your reflections are out of sync with you. Just slightly, whether it's a second behind or a second in front. And you can see Aiden watching his reflection and stopping and looking at himself and literally just sort of like testing it, like poking his face and waving into the mirror. Is it just me, or is this out of sync? Look, and there is that just like that annoying sort of just slightly out.
No, you're not alone.
Are we out or are they out?
Doesn't matter, I guess. And I'm like waving to myself. I'm like, it probably doesn't matter. Something's wrong, but let's just keep poking the mirrors.
And
I like poke at my reflection.
yeah, you poke at your reflection, and in the reflection you see Charlie crawl out of your bag and sit on your shoulder. And he puts his hand up against the mirror and starts tapping the mirror.
I tap his little hand back as I feel the one hand on my shoulder, the other one's tapping. Make sure he's not actually there.
It doesn't seem to be, he's not there at the same time as you do it. But it's like he's moving.
I'm gonna find you, little buddy. I got you. I'll come back to you.
And he jumps off of your reflection and you see him run, and you see all these reflections of Charlie, like monkey after monkey, just running around this mirror maze.
I follow.
You follow down the mirror corridor. Is anyone else following, or is this just Idris going? Okay.
Yeah, let's stay together, everyone.
I'm just checking. But you can move and you can watch Charlie run. Every now and then stops to like bang on a mirror and keep running. Like he's trying to find a way out of the mirror maze as well.
I touch every mirror as I like that he passes as I run after him. Like, God, I think this is actually my Charlie. He's too cute not to be. I just keep touching.
You sort of keep running and running, and you come to a mirror where he stops and looks up, and it's your reflection smiling. No weird smile, just a smile. I've realized that's caused some problems.
We trust no smiles no more. No smiles for anyone. And I'm just like, I reach my hand forward and I touch it.
The same happens. Your hand reaches forward and touches it. However, the other hand, in the reflection, you see that missing knife that Theodore lost. As it pulls it up and flicks it out, and you watch your reflection look at it and look back at you. And then with a bang, it thrusts it to the mirror, and a blade comes through the glass, inches from your face.
Shit! And if everyone's behind me, like, run! I'm trying to kill myself. Start booking it. Run, run, run. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm really good with a knife. I had a lot of brothers, and I probably stabbed too many of them.
And the rest of you can look at your reflections, and you do see some of them are slightly taller, some of them are slightly shorter. Some of them have different eye colors to you. And soon you sort of come to think it is a mirror maze, but you're not sure how many of these are actually mirrors. As these reflections start to walk independently from you.
Well, any mirror we don't see a thing, touch it.
You come to one mirror.
I mean, we could start breaking mirrors if they're all solid.
Say, but some might not be mirrors, they might be windows.
Yeah, they're clearly trying to get out of these things.
I don't want to face myself with a gun. I mean, I would shoot myself, but I also know I would shoot myself.
I don't want to
Because
face Maria with a gun either.
No, this one's wild enough. I think just keep touching mirrors till we get out, and if you see yourself, it's all right to stab yourself.
And you can move around this mirror maze. You see Charlotte passing by, you see Charlie, you see yourselves. As you walk through this, and you can smell popcorn. And Aiden's literally stood there twitching like, does anyone else smell that? I mean, I know I get hungry, but I can smell popcorn.
I think it smells more like men's feet.
My feet don't smell like that.
Maybe to you.
That's not just me. Other people can smell it, right?
Oh, see.
Yes. No, it smells like popcorn. You're right.
Huh. And briefly you see sort of flashing lights, like in a reflection of these mirrors. And Aiden's sort of like, oh, who got the camera out? And there's complete silence. And you notice all the reflections have gone. And then you can smell that popcorn again. It's almost like someone is wafting it on a breeze.
I'm going to turn the not fire on a stick on and just shine it at one of the flashlights, one of the mirrors.
You can see that light bounce everywhere. And you all see your reflections. You all look to be about 8 years old.
Oh.
What do you all look like at 8 years old?
Pigtails. Definitely wearing a dress. And y'all have never seen me in a dress. I probably look like I'm going to church. Had to go often.
Imagine I just look like a smaller Theodore. Little bow tie.
The typical like braid around your hair thing going on, and some pistols still with like
What?
and
So badass.
and if you look closely, an engagement ring.
Oh, that's
So fucked up.
Yeah.
Bo just looks like a little street kid. Clothes are all too small for him. Really shaggy hair.
Yeah, I think Edward probably just looks like a smaller version of himself in, like, geez, whatever's appropriate for kids to wear at that time, because he wouldn't, maybe like a plain shirt and plain pants.
And you can look over at Aiden, who is in a knitted sweater vest, a little white short sleeve t-shirt, small brown shorts, and those socks that go up over your knees, and sort of a pair of scuffed shoes. And he sort of looks over. Is it? I can still smell popcorn. And then you look down at your feet and you see grass. And just ahead, in sort of a shape of a doorway, you see flashing lights. Red, yellow, blue, that smell of popcorn, that grass, music. And then you hear the music. And you're at a fair. You're at a carnival. Then you can walk through. Paige is already hating me for this because the last time. You step out of this doorway. There is a carousel. There are all these rides. And you see a cotton candy machine. You see that sort of trolley being wheeled along with the popcorn popping. It being dished out to all of these kids, these adults walking around with families, children, and above you see a huge sign at the entrance, Circus do Inocente, and you can see this huge fairground, and you've probably been to many like this growing up. Maybe you've never been to one before. And there is a man stood over one side, clutching a huge sort of bunch of balloons. And it's obscuring his face because there are so many. What do you do?
To clarify, the kids that we saw, were they just our reflections or are we actual children?
You are actual children.
We're sorry. We're not gonna go, are we?
I mean, I don't think it's particularly safe, but I can always watch your back. I have my pistols.
I don't think I have shit. I'm wearing a dress. I have tights on.
I got my daddy's Swiss Army knife.
That might help.
Maybe if we try to look like normal kids, nobody will know that we're special here.
Maria, you're wearing guns. Is that a normal kid? I don't know. That's not a normal kid, man. Just put it out there.
Doesn't Maria always have guns?
Like Zayden sort of looks over.
Yeah, but that's still not normal kid behavior, and I just don't know about none of this.
I mean, you did not grow up in Mexico. We had fighting for so many years. You know, everyone had to do their part.
I think the monsters are always gonna know that we're kids. Oh my gosh.
Well, if anyone asks, it's a costume.
Okay.
Okay, where do we go? Do we follow the popcorn? I don't really know. I was never a fan of popcorn. Got caught in my teeth real bad.
I don't like it either. Right.
I mean, we're not gonna eat anything, right? Because we know that that's probably bad.
Yeah. It's probably real bad for you. Same as like when everything turns to sand.
All right, where do we go then?
I I mean, we could follow it and just not, eat any of it.
Alright, that's fair enough, I guess.
And you can start walking amongst this. You can follow the cart. And Bo, you see your younger brother carrying a balloon, running across the field, pointing at these rides, this fair. You see a clown walk over to him and hand him a stick of cotton candy. Pat him on the head and sort of moves on.
Danny.
And he stops and he's got this balloon in his hand and this cotton candy in the other.
Bo! You look really small.
Well, I'm still bigger than you.
Okay. And he sort of shuffles over to you, and you can see, like, as he takes his bite of this cotton candy, it just covers his face.
He's like, want some?
No thanks. I was wondering, I want to take my friends here to a really cool fun house. Have you seen a fun house around here or something like that? Or like a big mirror doorway, something?
There is a fun house. I don't like fun houses though. I can show you where it is.
Yeah, I think my friends will really like it.
Okay.
And he starts to walk. He starts to move, like, with the music as he goes, and he dances. And he starts to walk through all these crowds, and you see lots of families here. And Bo, you do see your mother walking through the crowd, not coming too close, but it's like she's watching both you and Danny as you walk through. And you see the carousel. You see people on it going up and down. And you notice every single one of them is watching you. Watching the whole group. Would anyone like to do anything on the walk through?
Yes, please! As stupid as it is now that we realize everybody's watching us, Edward's gonna look for any adults who are smoking and try and pick their pocket to steal their cigarettes.
If you roll a good stealth, I will let you do that.
I'm gonna spend my auto success.
Yeah, just describe the scene to me as you do this.
So he spots probably an adult man standing by one of the booths smoking, and as soon as he sees the man put the pack of cigarettes back in his pocket and the book of matches, he carefully walks around to get out of view, and he just once he thinks he's out of view, he then does the bump into, oh, I'm sorry, and then runs off.
Which way you going, kid? And he sort of straightens himself up. You can hear the woman with him. He's like, what's up? Such a stupid kid. And sort of keeps walking. You've got this cigarette.
Yep. By the time I join the other children that are my friends, I've lit the cigarette, put it in my mouth.
I need this image, like this drawn, these kids walking through this.
You might as well. They know that we're not supposed to be here.
I mean, they're all staring at us, so I think they already know. Kid, Bo's brother,
Danny!
As he sort of looks round at you, still holding this cotton candy and balloon.
There's no, the freak show, there's none of that here, right?
That's us. I don't think so. But the clowns are great. You should see their smiles.
No thanks. Hard pass. Guys, I don't think that's cool.
I don't like makeup anyway, so...
Okay. Well, I can just take you to the fun house. I don't like it when, everyone's watching.
Yeah, I don't either. Let's go to the funhouse.
Do they usually all watch you, Danny?
Of course they do.
Like, looking at you like,
Silly.
and keeps walking.
I have to watch. Otherwise you get away.
Why did I watch you?
Because I tried to get away.
Away from what?
Them. You're supposed to be older and smarter.
Kid, I never been very smart.
Why are you smoking? It's bad for you.
Because he's not very smart, Danny.
See, if you don't stay in school, you end up like Eddie here. You smoke cigarettes and you don't know who you run from or why you're running, and you steal things that don't belong to you, and then you get stuck in hell.
I know who's watching me. I am smart.
I know, but Eddie, he don't know. So because he's, he stopped going to school, and that's why he don't know.
And Danny looks from Bo to Eddie and walks over. Like,
I'm so sorry.
Danny, I really missed you.
And he walks over. He lets go of the balloon and holds onto your hand, Bo.
He's like, don't worry about them. They're just watching because they're jealous.
That's right. Let's go have fun at the funhouse.
Okay. And you see him sort of again marching through this, and you do notice people selling the popcorn now. Every parent, every child, every person on a ride, they all look in your direction. And Danny just walks quite comfortably through.
It's not too bad being here. You get popcorn, you get cotton candy, there's loads of drinks and sweets, and it's amazing. You just gotta put up with them.
Yeah, but I have a lot more fun when people aren't looking at me. Like whenever you and I are alone and Mom's not at home and we can just play with each other.
Yeah. Well,
Aren't you an actor? Don't you generally want people to look at you?
When I'm acting.
Alright.
And Danny's watching Professor Teddy.
I like your bow tie.
He sort of just makes a note of it.
Your friend's a bit weird though.
And you can see Adrian sort of walking around at the back, sort of dawdling a bit every now and then, realizing he's dropped behind, and picks up. He's like,
Anyway, like I said, Bo, they're just jealous. That's why they're staring, because you have what they haven't. So let's get to the fun house and let's get you out of here. Come on.
and marches forward a bit more.
I would really appreciate that. I really don't approve of all y'all wearing a dress right now. You're not supposed to see this no more. Y'all never saw this.
Why don't you like wearing a dress?
Because I prefer pants.
Then why did you wear a dress?
I didn't have much choice.
And it sort of pans over to Maria. It's like,
Are those real guns?
See, you want to shoot one?
and he sort of
They're almost as bad for you as those.
and points over at Edward with his cigarette.
Oh no, they're not bad for me. They're only bad for other people.
So they're good.
See, it's a way to make sure you don't get hurt, like a bicycle helmet or knee pads for when you go skating.
I never skated. I wasn't allowed to skate.
It's fun.
I mean,
Real good with them.
Yeah. Anyway, as much as you can ignore them, I don't like them looking at me for too long. So come on, it's over here.
And you sort of walk down this path through like this sort of rides either side. You can, as much as all these people are looking at you, you can still hear the yells of excitement from children. And then you realize they're not coming from the children on the ride. It's almost like background sounds. It's not actually there. But you see this huge tent, this red and yellow tent before you.
And Danny's like, the fun house. See?
Thanks. Can you come in with us and show us the way out?
I don't want to go in there.
Why not?
Well, there's lots of, clowns and stuff in there. I don't mind the ones out here. They give you popcorn or give you balloons and stuff, but I don't like the ones in there.
Would you say they're spooky wooky?
And he nods.
Alright.
Well, that's the thing about clowns. Like you said, makeup. You don't know who's wearing it.
We don't like clowns either.
Well, then stay out here.
What if we can get away from them?
Well, by going in there, you're going to them. You should stay with me.
Well, do you know how to distract the clowns? Or outrun them or something? Or scare them?
You can't scare a clown. They scare you.
If they scare you, we could shoot them. Maria's got guns.
Mm-hmm.
And then this kid again looks over at Edward with this cigarette hanging out of his mouth and looks back at Bo.
Who is that?
Like, and looks up at Bo.
He's a bad kid who gets in a lot of trouble. Kind of like us. But he's here to help us.
Is he actually gonna shoot one of them?
If we have to, Danny. But I don't want you to be around when we do that, so why don't you go enjoy the carnival? Thanks for showing us the way.
Okay.
And he sort of gives you this hug, which for the first time is actually at like a very similar height.
Yeah. Have fun on the other side.
And he starts to walk away. And you see that balloon drift back down from the sky into his open hand as he walks away through the crowds.
All right, everyone. Here we go.
Should we hold hands again? It is a fun house.
See, I think so.
Alright, I'll reach out my little kid hand, the little pudgy kid hand, and take Maria's. Alright, Maria. I guess this is it. I don't really like this. I like being an adult. It's much more fun than being a child.
I don't know. I think it's pretty fun to be a kid. You don't have to worry about any responsibilities.
I don't know. I had to cook a lot as a kid and do some cleaning and stuff. I wasn't much of a fan. I had to stay inside a lot.
At
And
least you
everyone's
did-
bigger.
Yeah, but you don't have to be a wife or, do any of that stuff yet.
Yeah, I was just kind of training for it. But yeah, I guess you're right. I wasn't engaged as young as you, so it's not so bad. All right, we got this. You just stop feeling bad for yourself. Get your big girl pants on, get going, and starts marching in.
Just believe you're big and you'll be big.
You're right.
You hear, wait for me, as you see Aiden sort of running, and he looks like he's fallen over at some point because you can see grass stains on his knees, and he's sort of running up quickly. and grabs a young Theodore.
Okay, I'm ready.
Theodore just like looks at Bo and Edward in like this, not saying anything and letting the women have this moment about griping about womanhood, and it's just like, just don't talk this.
What?
Very guilty about this insight into the woman experience.
And like Aiden sees you doing this.
He's like, what is it? What is it?
Like as you're like, it's like, be quiet, basically.
Should I not be talking?
And he just waits. And what is baby Edward doing? Like lighting up another one?
Nah, he probably just waits for everyone to decide who's gonna hold whose hands in what order, and whenever that one cigarette's done, he just lets go of it.
No, I've never been in a fun house or a circus.
Aiden's sort of looking around.
Me either. But we would be okay together.
Okay,
And he sort of straightens up a little bit.
come on then.
You can step into this fun house as you push back these huge canvas like sheets. And it's not quite a fun house. You can see elements of it, but before you reach the first door of the fun house, you step into this huge like pavilion. And you see a big opening, this big circle. You see gymnasts up at the top of this tent, sailing through the air, some of them riding the backs of horses. And at the center, a man in a red-tailed coat and a top hat with a stick, sort of as if he's commanding things that are going on around here, and a huge snake that sort of rears up and rears back down again under his command. And off to the side, you see another gymnast. A gymnast in this sort of Harlequin-like outfit, sort of doing these slow cartwheels, flips and turns. And next to this gymnast, in a very uncomfortable looking colourful tutu, is Charlie copying, going around the circle.
If y'all see what I'm seeing my little Charlie, and I start like yelling for Charlie. My kid was, Charlie, come here, come to mama.
And there is a pause where everyone in there stops and looks towards this group of children. And Charlie stops, and you see him with this ruff round his neck and ruff round his middle. And he stands there up on his hind legs and just starts making his way over towards you, running. But he stops at where the edge of the ring is, sort of looking at you confused, not really understanding who you are.
Charlie, don't worry about it. Just come to mama. We're gonna get that thing off you, and then maybe I'll go. I don't know. Maybe I'll shank someone for a pair of pants. I don't think anyone's small enough for my pair of pants, but can I just come to mama?
And Charlie sort of stands there almost bouncing on his back legs like he recognizes you, but he's not sure why. And he sort of actually wrings his hands together, his little paws. And this woman dressed in this outfit, this gymnast, walks forward. Children, you shouldn't be in the tent.
Yeah, but you have my monkey, so you're gonna give me my baby back, or I don't know. There might be some hell to pay.
Did you buy a ticket? And I'm afraid this is my monkey.
I don't think so. I think that's my monkey, and I think you should give him back to me right now, or else.
Or else what?
Maria, hand me your gun. Just hand it to me. It's okay. And I take the gun. And I shoot this woman right in her face. Give me my freaking monkey.
Roll the gun thing, or whatever it is.
What?
Spill that lady's drink.
I tried to, but I'm too short to reach it.
That's wonderful.
Just describe this for me as you literally walk up very calmly and shoot this woman.
I just really, really want my monkey back. So I just go right up to this woman, and she said no. So I just shot her in her face, and I take my monkey. Dress off my monkey. My monkey doesn't wear no dress. I go, should have just give me the monkey, lady. Walk back to Maria, give her the gun.
This woman, as you hit it, it's like a force. She looks at you wide-eyed briefly before falling to the floor. The blood leaks out over this dust, this dirt, this sort of sand almost. And again, everyone's stopped. And now the man in the long red tail jacket, top hat, walks over and bows very low and steps over the body. You seem to have made a mess. And Charlie is now like in between both, but starts to shuffle over to you, Idris, sort of staying away as you hold the gun out to Maria. He definitely backs away from that side of it and comes around the other side of you and sort of reaches out his little paws up to you, not wanting to climb you because he looks mildly nervous.
I kind of one hand pick up my baby and give the gun back. I'm like, well, I don't care, old man.
She should have given her the monkey back.
Yeah.
He's her monkey.
She asked very politely.
She did.
And this man looks down at all of you. Where did you get guns, little one?
Everyone has guns.
Do they?
See, everyone in my town has guns.
And where is your town?
Well, it's not here.
No, obviously, I don't have a gun.
No, it's in Mexico.
And so you're saying this is your monkey?
It's her monkey.
It's a fact. It's my monkey. This is my family. You do not touch Charlie. I'm gonna leave, or I will shoot you in the face too, and I don't really care anymore. This isn't worth it. And I like, where do I go? Guys, where do I go? Let's find this mirror.
You're supposed to be accompanied by an adult in here. And you hear a voice behind you as the flaps of this tent open. It's like, it's all right, I'm here. I'm the one who let them in. And Ruth shuffles in, holding up 5 tips.
Maria spilled the drink.
Yeah, Maria, spill the drink.
Spill the drink. Sorry, I mean, Maria, spill the drink. Spill the drink, Maria.
Yep. I turn around and I spill the drink.
Roll for me. You fire. And you hit. Who are you aiming for, Ruth or the
Ruth.
other one? You fire. And you strike Ruth. And you hit her sort of right here. And she just sort of... and sort of she bends over slightly. Stands back up. And straightens out. Now, that's not how we behave.
If you don't think that's how we behave, you don't know us very well.
We need to teach you some manners.
Maria, give me the other gun.
You're just gonna keep firing.
Wait, hold on. Clarify. Do we have the spear still?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, in that case,
Eddie, give her the big stick.
yeah,
Wow.
Eddie's gonna stab her. Hopefully, I'll spend my advantage.
Yes.
No. I
You
don't.
you lunge forward with the spear, and she grabs it. And she holds on to it. What are you doing, Eddie?
Fuck you, Ruth.
And again she smiles, and she snatches the spear from your hand. You're right. They're not my children. And she walks out of the tent.
I follow her because she has the spear now.
Teddy, go tackle her.
Yeah, I also run over and attempt to join any type of tackling that is happening. Give us a freaking spear, woman.
This is the weirdest.
Give me back the spear.
And she turns around and looks at you. What?
Yeah. Give it back. Right now. We need that thing. You're weird.
And she stares at all of you.
Is that a yes?
Por favor?
Please? Oh yeah, please?
Who wants the spear back? Will you leave me alone if I give you the spear back?
Yes.
Fine. And you notice at the moment this happens, Aiden is an adult as she thrusts the spear into his stomach. Take it back. And she pushes it backwards. And Aiden falls to the ground. In his adult form, you see him change. As he sort of looks down and looks at all of you as like, Professor, what do I do? And he starts to waver. You can see him shake and sway from side to side. You see some clowns come out of the tent and give a round of applause as Ruth walks away. Professor! Help me!
So the spear is in Aiden's chest.
It's more in his stomach than anything.
Okay.
And he falls to his knees, gasping and clutching his stomach.
And Ruth has her back now turned and is walking away.
Yes.
I'm running over and I'm yanking the spear out of his stomach and I am impaling her.
Roll me a strength, please. Yeah. You can pull it out. You hear him sort of choke slightly as it happens, and he falls forward, and you can run over to Ruth. She doesn't suspect you're coming up behind her.
Ah!
And as you do this, you realize you're getting taller as you become your older self again and thrust this spear into Ruth. And you hear her choke and gurgle. and let out this horrible scream. As you have to really hold on to the spear as you feel her almost shake violently and throw around it and twist, and it's like she is not shriveling, but she turns round. Well, her head does. 180 degrees. And her eyes roll back into her head, and she goes limp on the spear. And everyone in the fairground has stopped and is watching. And Edward, Maria, Bo, and Idris, you are back to your normal ages. What are you doing?
Am I in normal clothes? Or kid clothes?
You're in your normal clothes.
I was gonna say, this is about to become a 1960s mini dress. Oh.
Edward immediately goes to Theodore and like puts his one hand on the spear and one hand on Theodore and is like, okay, let's let go.
Gonna try to medicine on Aiden to see if I can.
Yeah, roll a medicine or a first aid, either.
Yeah.
Rushed over to him and he's fallen back. He looks very, very pale. And he's stuttering. And he's grabbing at your arms as you try and work away on him. And he's just like, Maria is really cold.
See, I know Breadstick Boy, but I'm
That's not
doing
my
what I
name.
can.
Please stop calling me that.
No, see, if I called you your name, you might think something was wrong, and you'll be fine, Breadstick Boy. I'll make sure you're okay.
What happened? I can't see anything. I can't.
It's just a little scratch.
It really hurts, Maria.
I know, Breadstick Boy. I'm doing what I can. I does anybody have like stitches, a needle, some thread?
I don't want to die here. Please.
We're all adults now, right?
You're all adults.
I'm just gonna give Maria my suit jacket. Use this. Do whatever you need to do. Aiden, you need to try your best to breathe slowly and stay still for Maria to work on you. We're getting you out of here, okay?
Yeah, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be in this place. I really hate fairs. And he sort of laughs just a little bit.
Just sort of like ripping up pieces of the jacket and like doing what I need to. Breadstick Boy, even if I have to carry you like a dog on my shoulders, I'll make sure that you don't stay in here, okay?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Everyone else is okay, right?
No, Ruth. Prophet Teddy, you should have seen him. Just flew right at her and just stabbed her.
He did that. Yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah, Prophet Teddy would go to the end of the world for you, Aiden.
He's done a lot of stuff like that lately. You should have seen him earlier, and you can tell Aiden is just talking now. He's just he's using that as his way of staying conscious. And he's just jabbering. And then some things aren't even making sense. Like he's talking about the smell of the popcorn again. He's talking about the boat, and he's there going, I don't know if I picked up all of the bow ties when the boat crashed.
Oh no, but Prophet Teddy, I mean, he's like sharp the whole time. And I mean, I see plenty of women on the boat. They are checking him out and, you know, giving him the woo eyes and everything. I think you did a good job.
Don't tell him that. That will make him really nervous.
Oh no, see, it's between us.
Okay, yeah. No, that's fine. He's like, I'm just really tired.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to try to pick you up very gently. I think I have this done as well as I can. And we're going to find the next mirror, Birdstick Boy, okay?
Okay, and you can see his eyes lolling.
You should sing me a song while we look for it. I don't think anyone will look for us.
I can't sing. I really can't sing.
I can't sing either. We'll sing it together. Just you tell me how it goes, and I'll sing with my voice, and then we can make fun of each other.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. But I don't want you to carry me. I want to walk. I don't want to be carried, Maria.
And then I will not carry you?
Carried this entire way.
You have not been carried. Hey, then you are smart, okay? And you're the smartest man here.
Okay. And you can help him to his feet. And what are the rest of you doing as you see this?
Well, I had the spear, but Edward came, and I think that I'm probably looking like over Edward's shoulder at Maria and Aiden and not saying anything.
After getting Theodore to let go of the spear, Edward would have tried to get Idris to come over to take Theodore while he deals with the spear in Ruth. Idris, come here.
Yeah.
After Teddy.
Now, Professor Teddy, that was rather impressive, but why don't we just walk over here for a bit and let Maria get him up, and maybe Bo or Edward would help carry him. Well, no, not carry, but help walk him to this next mirror, because we're going to get out of here, because we're all getting out of this together, right?
He just shakes his head yes, but doesn't say anything.
Right. And I put my arm gently through Professor Teddy. He's like, well, let's go this way, because I guess into the funhouse we go, find this mirror and get out, right? And he's moving. He's getting there. Maria's real good at that whole patching up business. She's patched me up a few times myself.
He
Gently
just goes with you and doesn't say anything, just nods his head yes to whatever you say.
And Edward, you can remove the spear really easily. It's almost like she not disintegrates, but you realize she's made of nothing, almost like a mummy. As it's almost like a dust, a sort of mixture of bone, dust, and linen as it falls. And Bo, what are you doing?
I'm helping Maria get Aiden to his feet, and I offer him my shoulder if he wants to put an arm around it so that we can move faster through the funhouse. I know you're perfectly capable of walking right now, but the faster we're out of here, the better.
It's like, where's the professor?
He's right here. He's right behind us.
Okay. And he looks over and he really tries to reach into his pocket, but he just can't. But please take out my notebook because it's got information in it just in case.
Okay, yeah. I'll reach into his pocket and take his notebook.
You can see him wince, and you see he's lolling in and out of consciousness.
Mm-hmm. Remember to keep singing with Maria. I've got your notebook safe, and Theo's right here.
Give it to the professor. It's got my notes in it. He's smart. He can get us out of this with this.
All right, sure. And then Theo, and I push it into his chest. Hold on to that for Aiden.
He just puts his hand down and holds it to his chest and nods his head yes.
And Aiden sees you and he sort of locks eyes with you briefly. And he reaches out and like rests a hand on your shoulder. He's like, I'm really sorry, Professor. I didn't know she was going to do that. I'm sorry. And,
None of us knew she was going to do that. Don't be sorry.
and Theodore, you feel, in fact, those of you holding Aiden, you feel him finally give out, like his energy goes. And Theodore, you feel him pat your shoulder 7 times. And that is where we'll leave this week's Call of Cthulhu before the finale next week. So, is everyone okay? Okay.
No.
Not Aiden.
Maria rolled a extreme medicine, but so everyone, we would love to hear what you think of this game in the Discord chat. We'll head over there in a bit. Otherwise, please check out all the links that are going to start popping up in chat. First of all, a huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors who we couldn't do this without, in the form of Bird in the Storm and also Mayhem Press. And just thank you for being here, because it's also that it's the penultimate week, and next week come and tune in to the finale. Otherwise, keep evoking emotions, and we will see you next week. Bye.